Hello everyone, welcome to the day. We're starting a whole new week. That's just how it works. One week goes by and then another one comes. Here's what we've got for Monday. It's a particularly special one, particularly difficult one. It's called the Lumberjack 20. This is a hero workout. You can read the note here. It's talking about the Fort Hood shooting. It was pretty horrific, and this is in remembrance of the fallen there. So it is a awesome workout, very fun, and you can kind of go to a different place thinking about what you're doing it for. So Lumberjack 20, we got 20 deadlifts at 275 pounds, run 400 meters, 20 kettlebell swings at 32 kilos, run 400 meters, 20 overhead squats, run 400 meters, 20 burpees, run 400 meters, 20 chest to bar, run 400 meters, 20 box jumps, run 400 meters, 20 dumbbell squat cleans, run 400 meters, and that's one round of that. So there's a bunch of running and a bunch of sets of 20 of different things. Now, we can pull all of these things back to make something that you're able to do, but essentially what we want to think about mentally is 20 deadlifts at a heavier load than Diane. So whatever you do Diane at, go a little bit heavier than that. So it shouldn't be something that you're not able to do for, at least sets of 5, but at the same time, it shouldn't be something to where you're doing sets of 1, or you're doing, and if you scale back and you do all 20 unbroken, that's probably a little bit too light. So try to get something you're doing like sets of 5 and 6, maybe set of 10 on the first one and then plug it out, something that's relatively heavy. Then the kettlebell swings are a heavier load than you normally use. In this case, it's going to be a 32 kilo kettlebell or a 24 kilo kettlebell. And again, that could be lighter than you use. If you normally use heavier than you use. If you normally use a 16, bump it up to a 24. If you normally use a 10, bump it up to a 12. Whatever you got to do there. The overhead squats can be pulled back to a lighter load. The burpees, don't really need to pull those back. Chest bar pull-ups can be a ring row. Box jumps can be pulled all the way back to a lower height or just a jump over a line or a standing tuck jump. And then the dumbbell squat cleans can be pulled back and loading as well. So just look to reduce the loading, reduce the difficulty of the movement. We'll meet y'all where you're at. The main tips for this is just to put your head down and go. There's no real super crazy strategy other than just kind of like be present, focus on the rep and the task at hand, get it done, and move on to the next thing. Err on the side of pulling back and being just a little bit too light than overdoing it and going a little bit too heavy. Although we do want it to be difficult, the volume alone will kind of handle that for you with the running and everything else that's going on. Have some fun with it. Don't overthink it. Just put your head down and go. For the partially loaded version, we have here deadlifts with the dumbbells, swings with the dumbbells, overhead squats with the dumbbells, it's 10 each side, the bent over rows rather than the pull-ups, object jumps, and then dumbbell squat cleans. And if you wanted to up the loading on any of the dumbbell stuff or just to increase the difficulty knowing that everything else is so much heavier, you can. If you really were just going to thrash it and you only had one set of dumbbells, you could always bump up the reps to say 30 reps or 40 reps if you wanted to double it. But at the same time, you don't really need to do that. You can just move a little bit quicker and make those runs fast. Good luck and enjoy the session. Coaches, today the workout needs to be well thought out ahead of time, how you're going to lay it out in the class, where it's all going to fit, how people are going to run. If they're not going to run, how are they going to row? How are they going to assault bike? Whatever it's going to be, you're going to need to figure that out beforehand. So plan ahead of time for having all this gear out. Generally, the way it works is people will use the same barbell from the deadlift to the overhead squat. They just learn how to strip off the loading. It's time consuming and kind of hard, but that's what we're doing for the workout. If it's not possible to do exact loads, you can always just change the loading to be different loads, something lighter or heavier for the deadlift, lighter for the overhead squats. It's totally okay. Other than that, there's nothing too crazy. Just be making sure that if you're doing the partially loaded version for people, you're meeting them where they're at, whether you're bumping up the numbers or making them use a different set of dumbbells to make it heavier and harder, whatever you got to do to make that work. That's all I got. Enjoy the day. Have some fun with the Lumberjack 20.